Hey, what's going on? So, the before we watch the video, this video that you're about to watch, it's about Andrew Tate view on Islam and Christianity, his views on these. So, it's going to be a two-parter because the video was like 20 some minutes long. So, I broke it into two parts, breaking down and explaining. So, I hope you guys like it. So, enjoy. Yo, this Darius from Down on the TV. Welcome to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about Andrew Tate's recent interview that he did. And I wanted to talk specifically about his views on Islam versus Christianity, why he converted, and his thoughts on Christianity, modern Christianity, in the state of it of today. So we all know who Andrew Tate is. He was once the most famous man in the world, connoisseur of masculinity for the youth. A lot of guys mess with him pretty heavy. So I just wanted to go ahead and get into the grease. Let's go ahead and look at this interview.
About for hours.
Yeah.
Or if I talk about Islam, I feel like there's people far more qualified than me, and I feel like it's disrespectful because I'm new to it. I'm a revert, and I'm trying to learn like everybody else. And yes, I'm famous, and yes, I'm well known, but my opinion isn't valid compared to someone who's a born Muslim or studied it harder than I have. So,
Everyone's opinions are valid.
of course, but I don't consider myself qualified.
Yeah, fair enough. But how would you say it's shaped your life and your mentality?
You know the best thing about Islam? The best thing about Islam is how simple it is because there's wrong and right.
It's a simple religion.
It's wrong and right. I mean, you look at other religions and it's also subjective now.
Yeah.
And that's why I've said many times on different podcasts that it's the last true religion. If you don't have a strong barrier, if you don't have a yes and a no, you don't have a religion. If you tolerate everything, you stand for nothing. And if you believe in God and you say, I believe in God, but I'm not a Muslim, I'm going to say, okay, that's fine. You're a Christian. What is Christianity anymore? What does it mean? You can go to a Christian country, and America, let's take, for example, and you'll get in more trouble for insulting George Floyd than you will for insulting Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to stop right there. First off, the deep mysteries of the Lord, our human comprehension can't understand it. That's like a child trying to understand his parents. They don't know nothing about stocks, bonds, bills, all these things. These deep mysteries, you have to be, that's why Christ said that you have to be a child. The greatest people in his kingdom are children because you just follow his ways. And like I said, us human beings have egos. What causes our fall is our ego. And he said Islam is yes and no. That's good. That's a good foundation. But also, life is not always yes and no. If the Lord had the same temperament as Muslims, the Lord would have destroyed the earth a long time ago. What makes God very genius and powerful and great, he gives us grace for when we fall. Only when we fall do we learn. If we do something wrong and we cut our hands off, we permanently damage ourselves and there's no glory behind it. If you just completely destroy someone from for a mistake or them being lost like Little Nas X. Little Nas X is a degenerate, but he can be saved. Everybody has a chance, but let's elaborate. Let's go.
Literally, you can walk down walk down the street with a T-shirt saying Jesus is gay. Girls barely go to church. If they do, who knows what they were doing the night before? None of it means anything. And then if you go and find a Christian that says this trans person has changed gender, what do you think about that? Christians are so soft, they're going to go, well, I hope he finds redeem, and I hope he finds guidance. Haram, bro. Haram. No, you didn't. It's haram. And I like that it's yes and no. And what's the point in
Think about it. Let's say for the trannies, right? The trannies, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. It's not all simple. Everything is gray. Human nature is a mixture of things. Imagine, let's say we slaughter all the gays and trannies. Then how does God's glory come about if they're not redeemed? The best stories are the ones who are redeemed. Like in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker redeemed his father, Vader, to become back Anakin. That's what made Luke's story in Star Wars so powerful. That's what made Luke such a great character. He was able to, even though Darth Vader did all the evilness during the Empire, but in the end he was redeemed and he saved his son and was able to destroy the emperor and become the true chosen one. But if Luke had that same mentality as a Muslim, where everything's black and white, where's the glory of God in that? There's no glory in it. So, yes, it's true. In Western countries, there's a lot of degeneracy, there's a lot of hypocrisy, there's a lot of weakness, but that's due to intergenerational emasculation of the men, the slow chipping away of men's authority. And when men lost authority, they lost their power. So this was all by design. This wasn't just by happenstance. The powers that be wanted to weaken Christianity. Yes, the men at that time should have did what needed to be done back then, but human beings are fallible. Human beings are weak, you know. They had too much to lose. But let's continue.
What's the point in a religion if you're too afraid to say what you believe in, or afraid to stick up for it, or afraid to defend it? Then what's the point in any of it? So I feel like it's the last true religion. I feel like it's the last religion on the planet. And it's kind of interesting because since I've my reversion, I've had lots of conversations with the right-wing conservatives who were upset by my reversion as if I cared. And a lot of them said to me, "Oh yeah, but it's a Christian country. We need to restore Christianity to England or wherever." And they don't seem to understand that the basic law of the universe is that power vacuums get filled. This is the basic law of the universe. If a tiger arrives in a brand new habitat and there's no other predators, it's going to destroy and eat all the rabbits and it's going to take over.
Facts.
Anyone who's in the West who's concerned about the spread of Islam should be more worried about the absolute fall of Christianity. The reason people revert to Islam is because they're looking for God and they can't find God anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's Christianity's fault for being so weak and decadent.
Yeah, we were discussing this as well as a group earlier on, and we were like, the UK majority of it is a Muslim, population. So it's gone past the point where it's now deemed as a Christian country.
I never lived in the UK. So people lump that's the number one problem I never get with people. People lump Christianity as one big thing. There are so many denominations. Christ said, not every person who says to me, Lord, Lord, is of me. Because there are people who are wicked. They use the Lord name to commit blasphemies and stuff like that. So not everybody who says they're a Christian is really a Christian. You can't obviously hold the whole religion to maybe a degenerate denomination like Methodist, for instance, or Anglican church, like where they have gay pastors and stuff. Obviously, that's not of God. They're not Christians. They're just mocking him because their wickedness in their heart. But not every Christian church is the same. There are plenty of good Christian churches in Africa, in Latin America, in the Middle East, in Asia. There are a lot of base Christian churches in America. There are a lot of base Christian churches. Christianity is all over the world. Just because they're degenerate in the UK in a certain denomination doesn't mean that all Christianity is degenerate. There's an Orthodox Christian church in Ethiopia that keeps to its traditions and it's going strong. Same thing, Philippines with Catholicism. So there are many Christian churches around the world that aren't degenerate like the Anglican Church in the UK. So him lumping all Christians because one denomination is degenerate, that doesn't exclude, like, so you want us to slaughter every denomination. They tried that. with the Inquisition. They had a whole war in Europe with that. All it did was end millions of lives. And in the end, they realized, like, you know what? Let bygones be bygones. I practice my faith how I want. You practice your faith how you want. They learned a long time ago that being too intolerant will cause endless conflict. That's why in a lot of Muslim countries, they're war torn. Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, all these places are too intolerant. Now, obviously, geopolitics is in play in certain of those areas, but ill regards, a lot of Muslim countries are very dangerous right now. But let's continue.
because there's more Muslims than Christians in the first place.
This is the Islamic Republic of Great Britistan, and the thing about it, and no, but the thing about it is, it's not even about numbers. It's about strength of belief. If you wake up and you want to truly live a religious life, and you want to feel like you have religious conviction, and you want to feel the fraternity of a religious life, and you want to have the boundaries and constraints of a religious life, you're going to be attracted to Islam. You're not going to be attracted to Christianity because you can wake up and say, I'm a Christian, and nothing changes.
Yeah.
Nothing changes, and nobody.
This is the Lord don't care nothing about you expressing with your hands and showboating. The Lord looks at the heart of the man. So you can pray 5 times, 20 times a day. The Lord don't care nothing about that. The scribes and Pharisees back in Christ's time did all that, and their hearts were wicked. So he doesn't care about the external, it's about the heart. And the Lord doesn't want you slaughtering people or being intolerant. He wants you to have mercy and to help people through your actions. Now, he's correct on certain aspects, but like I said, you have to know the deep mysteries of the word. You don't give you don't give your pearls to the swine.